the 27th, and we are up and at it early this morning with the chickens. It is about 6:30, and my goal is that if I get into the kitchen sooner, I can get out of the kitchen even faster. So as you guys saw, I have a ton of produce from the garden that needs to be taken care of. I have zucchinis, cucumbers, banana peppers. So we're gonna get some things accomplished. We're gonna do some pickling, we're gonna do some canning in hopes to get all of this used up and preserved. And we're gonna do this over the span of a couple of days. So today we're gonna do more of the savory and pickly types of things, and then we're gonna come back in a couple of days and we're gonna do some sweet treats in hopes to get all of this zucchini mostly used up, because I am not even kidding when I tell you there are so many of them, and they are massive. I'm talking the ones that you forget are hidden under the leaves, and when you come back and find them, they're about the size of a child's leg, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. They are humongous. So I've got the Dolly shirt on today. That way if we run into any issues, we can say, what would Dolly do? But to be honest, she's probably not going to answer our calls because she's working 9 to 5. So the chaos is going to be left up to us to get figured out. But let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we can get accomplished. Okay, so jumping into this, we're going to make some zucchini salsa. And if you've never had that before, it's basically regular salsa. It just gives you an opportunity to use up 10 cups of zucchini. So I knew I was definitely going to do that when all of these zucchinis just started flooding into the house. But it does require a little extra prep. It's like a 2-day process. So the day before you plan to do this, you need to shred up your 10 cups of zucchini. You need to chop up 2 green bell peppers, 2 red bell peppers, and 4 onions. Now, you can choose to leave the skin on your zucchini, or you can take it off. It's just whatever you prefer. But I went ahead and I took that extra step, and I did take the skin off of my zucchinis because I knew personally inside this house that if the kids seen 10 cups worth of green specks inside of their salsa, they would say, ew, green, no. So I did take that extra step, but I went ahead, like I said, I got that in the pot, I got all the other vegetables, and I added 1/3 of a cup of kosher salt. And the reason that you do this is because you put the salt in and it draws out all the moisture that zucchinis tend to hold. And I don't know if I can lift this up for you guys to see all the water that's in there without it dumping out. But there is quite a bit, and it calls for you to put this, I gotta think of what words are. It's too early, guys. It's only like 7. So you gotta put this into a strainer the next day, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a really good rinse to get all that salt out and to get all this liquid out. And then I'm just going to let it set for a little bit so that any more moisture that's drawn out can just drip on out. But while that's doing this, I'm going to go ahead and get my pickling brine mixed up for my banana peppers. When it comes to my cucumbers, I'm going to take the shortcut and use the pre-packaged pickling mix. But I wanted my banana peppers to taste a little different, and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for in the Miss Wages at Walmart. So I'm going to take the time and mix that one up. But I'm going to go ahead and get this moved over to my strainer and get this dumped out. To a different pot so that I could have my big pot to do my canning in. So I'm just going to let that and get my jars prepped. Because they're brand new and you don't really know how long they've been setting, I want to take a second and give them a good wash with soap and water. Chilling, waiting for me. I've got another pot on the stove, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my pickling brine for the banana peppers up to a boil. That way I can just set it to the side and let it cool down. I do not want to hot pack my banana peppers. I just want everything to be room temperature so I can put everything into a cool jar and pop it into the refrigerator. And I'm kind of winging it when it comes to the pickling brine. But I will put the recipe in the description box below in case it interests you at all. I'm just kind of grabbing from different recipes and kind of mixing it into something different with things that I have on hand. But I'm going to move you guys in closer so we can get this mixed up. Going in with 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of celery seed, 1 teaspoon of some crushed red pepper flakes, 2 cups of white vinegar, and 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to bring this to a rolling boil and make sure everything gets dissolved really good, and then I'm going to cut the heat and set it to the side to cool down. have this Miss Wages one-step pickling mix. And this time I'm doing the kosher dill because that is all Walmart had to offer me. But I'm going to go ahead and get these cucumbers moved over to the sink, get them washed, we'll get them chopped, and we'll see how many jars we can get with 4 bags and the amount of cucumbers that we have. So we have everybody on the stove now. We have our lids in our water, and we have our jars back here in our water. Now we're not looking to bring our jars and our lids necessarily to a boil. We just want them to be consistently warm, about the same temperature that our salsa is going to be once we go to put it inside of our jar and then inside of our canning pot. And the reason for this is you don't want to put your hot salsa mixture into a cold jar because it will promote cracking that way. So we're trying to keep everything about the same temperature. So now we need to get back to our salsa mixture over here. It's just been setting this entire time. It's got our zucchini, our peppers, and our onions in it. So we need to get some more things added to this. That way we can get this cooking. We need 5 cups of tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and get these chopped and measured out. I'm going to go ahead and get diced up, and I'm going to leave the seeds inside of mine, but feel free to take them out of yours. Okay, so I got everything into our large pot, and let me tell you everything that I added. We added in 2 cups of white vinegar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 12-ounce can of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of ground mustard, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to bring this mixture to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat down to a simmer and let it simmer for 15 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to remove mine from this pot and transfer it to a different container so that I can fill this back up with water to can my jars. Obviously, this process would be a lot easier and a lot smoother if you had 2 of these big pots, but sometimes that's the name of the game, and I'm working with what I got, so I have to take an extra step, but you guys might not have to. So I'm going to get the heat going on this and get this to a boil. So our 15 minutes is up, and this is what it's looking like. I went ahead and took a stick blender to mine just to kind of smooth it a little bit. I didn't want it as chunky. And to my preference, it wasn't as spicy as I would have wanted. So I did add in some red pepper flakes to this. But my jars back here are completely ready to go. So I'm going to get this mixture into my jars, and then whatever I have left over in here, I'm going to go ahead and put back here in this pot. That way I can get this filled back up with water so we can water bath this salsa. Completely done. I have it out cooling. We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jars of salsa, plus I have about half of a jar in the refrigerator that wouldn't make a full jar. Over here we ended up with 3 containers of our cucumber pickles, and down here we ended up with 2 containers of our pickled banana peppers. Well, friends, we did it. We basically got it all done, and that feels like a major accomplishment for today, so I'm definitely happy with all the progress that we've made so far. All of these recipes will be in the description box below in case you need to reference back for anything, or if you want to give it a shot yourself. And be sure to check back in with me because, like I said, in a couple of days we're going to move on and we're going to make some sweet treats. But I want to say thank you guys for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I had a blast with you guys as always. But until next time, I'll see you later, friends.